Dawn of the Dead Network.
All right.
You just jumped right in there.
Yep.
Just rip roaring, ready to go, man.
You are
I like
so
the enthusiasm.
We got so much. We got so much to talk about. Oh my god. Hello and welcome to Pot of the Dead. I am your host Nicholas, and I am joined by Dustin and Natasha. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, man.
Pretty good. Not dying of heat stroke today, so that's always a plus.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
On today's episode, we are covering the 1997 David Lynch horror mystery noir film Lost Highway. So coming into this week, what is your history with the film or David Lynch or Bill Pullman, or like what about this film or the oeuvre of it are you familiar with in your past?
I was familiar with none of it. Aside from Bill Pullman, but this is my first David Lynch movie. I just know of him as a director. He
Yeah.
has a style, and I got to see that style the other night.
I've been into David Lynch for a while. My brother is obsessed with him. He's probably his favorite human being. So he would always make me sit down and watch movies with him. And somehow I just missed this one. So this was a first watch for me too.
Yeah, so this was I'd seen this movie. So this came out in 97. It must have been 98 when I saw this film. So that would have been clocking me at somewhere around 12, 13 years old.
Okay.
My reasoning though for seeing this was the influence of an older cousin, Brendan. I was big into like Nine Inch Nails and all that stuff, and The Perfect Drug was like the lead single from the soundtrack from this movie. So that soundtrack was like in the zeitgeist of like my hanging outs and stuff like that. So that cover was always there, the yellow lines and Lost Highway, right? So eventually, going to like the mom and pop video store, I see the VHS of Lost Highway. And I watched it. And it was not until this viewing, which is my first viewing since then, only because like I always wanted to rewatch it and just never got around to it for some reason. It was only until this time that I realized I'd never finished it, which kind of makes sense because a 13-year-old kid growing up in a cornfield for no fucking reason throwing Lost Highway on, it's not going to make a lot of sense when the last
Right.
film he watched was probably Predator 2 with Danny Glover. So
And you just fell asleep
Yeah.
because it's easy to do.
I do have a theory. Maybe you got to the part with the boobs and were satisfied and left.
That's
13-year-old kid.
That's very possible. Patricia Arquette, topless, done
Yep.
and done, man.
This movie's great.
10 out of 10. Siskel and Ebert can take their 2 thumbs down and shove it up their ass. Because historically, they gave this movie 2 thumbs down, which David Lynch then took that as a badge of honor and put it on the posters of it. And basically, it was like Siskel and Ebert give it 2 thumbs up. That's 2 big reasons to come see Lost Highway.
That's
And I was
cool.
like, that's punk as fuck.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, this movie, came out in 1997, and we'll get into what this movie is in a second, okay? But what would your guys's back of the box for this movie be like? So, 13-year-old Nick goes, picks it up, and what would he read on the back of the movie other than the fact that he knew Nine Inch Nails, Marilyn Manson, Smashing Pumpkins, David Bowie, and Rammstein and Andrew Badalamenti were on it, the soundtrack?
I gotta say, before we get into that, Dustin, I think you mentioned about the soundtrack in our Discord earlier in the week.
Mhm.
And as I was watching the movie, I kept thinking I was watching the wrong one
Right.
because it takes so long for it to get to good music.
Whoa. It started out with David Bowie there.
Yeah, it starts with David Bowie, produced by Brian Eno.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was pumped right away, and then I was confused when the Rammstein showed up.
I
Most
guess I should
people-
say music that I recognized. It took a
Yes.
long time
Okay.
for music for me to recognize.
And yeah, Lou Reed had
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
cover.
there you go. Yeah,
That was beautiful.
That is such a good fucking track too. Like when it
Yeah.
cuts in, but we'll talk about the soundtrack. That is
Yeah.
so near and dear to my heart. Like, oh my god. So All right.
Okay, my back of the box.
Yep.
Uh, come see what was going on through David Lynch's mind during the O.J. Simpson trial, because I guess that was his huge influence
Yeah.
for making this movie.
Well, yeah, that makes
Yes.
sense.
I don't know how he got there, but I liked it.
Man kills wife. I mean, that's all. That's,
In a very David Lynchian way.
that's
Yeah.
literally all that it was. That's the line that you draw.
That's it.
Mine says a tale of two movies that may or may not collide.
Right on.
Okay.
Mine's just a surreal neo-noir nightmare to the tune of industrial and jazz. This is Lost Highway.
I feel
Yeah,
like
we're
all
pretty
three of
simple.
Yeah, and they all sound better than what the synopsis is for the actual movie. Because the synopsis sounded so good. I was like, this is right up my alley. Forgetting that it's David Lynch and not just like your standard like Mike Flanagan or something like that. Like that movie.
Tasha, you need to live in a world where David Lynch is the standard.
Yes. He is
I'd
the
be
bar
s-
that everyone wants to get to.
I'm so
Realistically.
confused all the time.
So the real synopsis of this, spoiler warning if you haven't seen this, like I need to throw those up at the beginning of every episode because we just go into it. But if you haven't seen this movie, the less you know about it, in my opinion, the better, because this movie is just a what the fuck moment after a what the fuck moment of, hold on, wait, what's going on here? Wait, are we watching something else? What's going on here?
And I think having preconceived notions is does you know good for this movie.
No, I think the only preconceived notion that you should have is that it's a David Lynch film. And
Right.
if you're familiar with anything that he's done, Twin Peaks, like you watch an episode of Twin Peaks, you'd be like, oh, that was kind of unsettling. And I don't know why it was unsettling. Yeah, it's that, but like cranked all the way the fuck up. So Lost Highway is a 1997 surrealist neo-noir horror film directed by David Lynch, who co-wrote the screenplay with Barry Gifford. It stars Bill Pullman, Patricia Arquette, and Balthazar Getty. The film also features Robert Blake, Jack Nance, and Richard Pryor in his final film performance, which blew me the fuck away when his name showed up on the front. I was like, wait, fucking it's a different Richard Pryor, right? And then he shows up, I'm like, this motherfucker Richard Pryor. The narrative follows a musician who begins receiving unmarked videotapes of his home before he is abruptly convicted of murdering his wife. While imprisoned, he mysteriously disappears and is replaced by a young mechanic leading a different life. So, is that what you're saying, Tasha? That synopsis?
Yeah. Okay. So
I mean,
now
that's what
having
happens
watched
in
the
the
movie,
film.
that's what happens, but not quite. I mean, yes, but that is nowhere near what my mind, like what I expected it to look like.
Okay.
Because,
So what did you expect it to look like?
dude, I don't know.
I'm not, and this is not, I'm not shooting. I'm not
I expected it to, this is my naivete of not knowing David Lynch.
That's fine. Everyone's got to fucking like be. No one watches a David Lynch film the first time and is ready for it. Like everyone just watches it the first time and is like, "That was cool. What?" Like that's it. Or I
Yeah.
didn't
You're
like
supposed
it.
to be
Like,
left with more questions than answers.
yeah.
I've
And
always found with his stuff.
I have a hard time with that because I do feel like I've left the movie and it's just like, I don't know what I just watched. So the idea, yes, he did abruptly get accused of murder and went to jail. Yes, he did disappear. And I think that's the mess up where it's not even like he disappears. It's just like that part of the movie is over. You're in a completely different timeline.
Mhm.
So it is accurate what you read having watched it, but that is nowhere near what I guess I expected more of like a crime drama, less of a
I mean,
There's crime.
this.
but like also you're saying like it's a different timeline.
It
And
seems like it.
see, and my interpretation of it, like before I did any sort of research on like what others thought, I kind of came to my own thing, and I did see after that a lot of other people thought this as well. It's not that it's a different timeline, it's that he's disassociating because of the trauma of killing his wife. So like that disassociation, we're now in his mind, and he's being the character that he wishes he were, where the woman that he's attracted to wants him and everything. So he's just building this life in his head that is perfect in a way, but all these things keep coming, trying to drag him back to reality out of this disassociative process. So,
And instead of killing her, he's going to save her now. He's
yes.
going to be the good guy because everybody wants to be the good guy, right?
Yep.
Right. And it all makes sense after doing research, but God, no, that did not click. Especially like him coming out of it at the end. That's where I was just like, I'm done. I don't know what's going on now.
He's a skinwalker.
Well, okay. We'll finish that point right there, and then we'll walk through the movie.
Okay.
But like that it's him coming to the realization. It's not him coming out of the dissociative state, I think, as much as him coming to terms with what's going on. He's still in his head,
Right.
but he's now he's now taking the mask off of being Pete and coming to terms with that he is actually Fred, like that kind of thing. But there's all sorts of shit. Like David Lynch is very much the person that when someone goes, "Hey, you want to tell me, like, so what did this thing mean?" He will look you straight in the face and go, "No, I'm not going to explain it. I'm not," because he's also the kind of guy that, like, you know, someone would ask that and it's like, "Well, what do you think that happened in the movie?" And they say, he's like, "Well, that's what happened in the film for you then." Like, that's why I was telling you, like, don't go into this expecting a linear narrative or anything like that. Just experience it, because that's what's more important, because he writes scripts and he shoots films like people paint and like people make music, where it's very, very interpretive and like to take everything literally. Like there's very little to be like, it's all metaphor. It's all fucking, you know, like.
I luckily did grasp onto that early on of, okay, this is going to be more of an art than entertainment. Let's do this. I got that within the first little bit of when Renee was talking in the doorway, and I was like, Jesus Christ, it's so slow and quiet and boring.
No. Well, like, okay, so I'm not here to like try and change your mind. I've tried to do that in the past. It doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
But how real was that kind of conversation though?
It wasn't something you said to watch it at, like, no distractions at night in the dark. I watched this
to get the full vibe, you don't want shit running around and everything. You just want to kind of bask in it. And then
I get the no distractions. The timing was not right.
It's a dark film. Keep it dark.
It was a 2-hour movie and I started it at 9:00.
Well, that's your problem.
Oh.
Not ideal.
Yeah.
Watch it in your basement.
It's very impressive that you finished. I'll give you kudos for that.
Thank you. Like I said, I took a power nap in the middle.
Of the movie?
No. It was a dozing of, there's no way I was asleep for longer than 10 seconds because it was my head shooting forward.
Okay. So, yes, we'll start from the beginning, right? The movie kicks off
from the top
with a fucking banger by David Bowie, produced by Brian Eno, and it is just straight up like mid-90s electronica, kind of has like a little bit of a Nine Inch Nails tinge to it and everything. It just sets the mood. That being said though, while David Lynch was shooting this film, he was always just blaring music during the scenes to, like, he shoots to music. Like this is the soundtrack of the scene. Not that the characters themselves can hear the music, but the actors can hear the music and should interpret that music into their performances. So like he was always just blasting shit like through scenes and everything to get people like in the mindset of like, it's one of like, I can understand that, where it's like, you know, like I remember being in a band and being like, I want to write songs that feel like the scene in the Neverending Story where Artax the horse dies.
What
So
a goal,
specific.
man. That's perfect.
But like,
did you achieve it?
I think so. It was very dark, depressing, like fucking blackened hardcore. Like it was rad.
You left everyone sad and crying.
I just wanted to write like songs, not that lyrically, like I didn't want it to be Like it could be lyrically sad, but I wanted the music audibly to be like a horse drowning in mud while a child is crying trying to pull it out.
Oh,
Jesus Christ, man.
Well, that's like the saddest thing I could remember from
Okay.
childhood, and I wanted that feel to the music.
No. Yeah, that hits pretty hard for everyone who grew up in the 90s, I think.
Yeah.
yeah.
So like that's kind of like I can understand that kind of sense of where he's like, I want you guys to embody what you're hearing here, and I'm going to capture that, you know. So yeah, so it starts off with the banger song. Did you know that there's supposedly a reason for the road and the lines?
Of course
Like-
there is.
I was kind of wondering because they really don't drive much in this movie,
No, so
except for the scene with the mobster,
and this oh my god.
which we'll get to that.
So it's said, I did not fucking pick this up. Like this I would have to be pulling this out of my fucking ass. So the movie is a tale of two movies, kind of, right? So
There we go.
it's not necessarily that it's the two lanes of a road, but if you lay two lines of film against each other and they start to run, the grates on the side of them start looking like the lines of a road speeding by.
Oh,
So that's implied that that's kind of like this movie. I've seen some stuff talked about where like there is it's one of those like layer on top of a layer on top of a layer on top of a layer kind of stuff, because this is one of those movies you can just dig so far
Yeah.
into it and be like, it's actually about the Bible or whatever, right? Like you could fucking make whatever you want out of this.
how disappointing would that be?
That would be so sad.
It's about the story of Job.
You know, the Lost Highway, you know, the name of the whale. Oh, there goes that Lost Highway again. But no, there's so much of it that's like people like the movie being okay, let's see. I'm going to have a hemorrhage trying to put this together in any sort of sensical sentence. The movie is shot where certain people are in a movie and other people are actually like making the movie, and they're like the thing of like where you're thinking there's multiple dimensions are actually the difference between being on stage or being off stage and stuff like that. So there's a reason why like certain people like act a certain way here but don't act a certain way there. There's all of that kind of stuff that can be like stacked up where it's, you know, the like I talked to you guys a little bit about this previous to recording, but so the idea that they're getting videotapes, right? We'll talk about that. So they're hanging out at home, they get a package in the mail, and it's a videotape of the front of their house. Well, actually, before that, this is very important. I don't even know how I skipped this.
Mhm.
There's a voice at the front door. The bell.
Yes.
Dick Laurent is dead. That actually happened to David Lynch and was one of the catalysts for him to make this. Was that happened to him and he looked out the window and no one was there and he's like, what the fuck does that mean? And then the OJ trial, and then that's what we get.
Wow.
So
Actually, Dick Laurent, that name came from
yep. That's
a
what
mysterious place.
that's what they say. That's
Wow.
that's
He's
what,
tapped into something, man.
yeah.
He
Right.
he has one foot in the paranormal realm, I think.
He is more ghost than man. Well, technically now he's more ghost than anything.
Oh, Nicholas.
Hey. He's dead. I'm not making fun of him. I love
but-
David. I'm wearing a David Lynch shirt for God's
Put
sake.
those kid gloves on when you bring it up.
Sorry. I apologize. Pour
Gonna
one
start
out.
bashing Ozzy now?
Oh, don't you bring him into here too? Oh God.
No.
Welcome to the sad cast.
Yeah. Two heroes.
They're fucking kicking the shit out of Hulk Hogan in heaven. Anyway. So yeah, they start getting these VHS tapes. They get the first one, it's just the front of their house, and they're like, what the fuck's going on here, right? As it goes on, they get a couple more, but I kind of want to touch on this I don't want to touch on it later. So those could possibly be the film crew doing prop shots of it, and he's accidentally getting the mail, like it's getting left out and he's grabbing it, because there are crane shots in the bedroom of them laying in bed that they get later. The ceiling's not that high. It's all like professionally shot and everything. So it's this thing of a guy. It's kind of Truman Showy in a way, where it's this guy realizing he is a character kind of thing. Like there's
That kind of hurts to think about, Nick.
Exactly. Yeah.
Maybe I should preface this a little bit. My favorite Bill Pullman movie is Lake Placid.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know if I'm qualified to be even talking about this one.
Don't worry. My favorite Bill Pullman movie besides this is Spaceballs. But yeah, so they get I'm just gonna pepper that stuff in because I found it interesting.
Oh, please
it's
do.
not that it's right or it's wrong. I
Right.
just heard that and I was just like, other people have to experience this because it made my brain bleed a little bit.
It
So-
sounds like there are no wrong answers with
No.
this movie.
No.
Yeah, and everyone loves doing the deep dive. I personally kind of like to keep it simple. I don't like to study too much about the movie. I just like to
Oh, thank God.
see where my imagination takes it
Oh,
and
yeah.
leave it at that.
See, I
Yeah.
kind of play both sides. I accept my interpretation of the film. I like to
Mhm.
see other people's interpretations because then I go like, no, that doesn't make sense. Ooh, I like that. That's kind
Mhm.
of cool. I never take it as like as gospel. I'm just like, that's fucking gnarly. Oh, okay, right on. Oh, okay, all right. Like that's just kind of how I just like to toy with it. But
I will say this movie was fun to look up. There's at
Oh,
least that. Like I think I enjoyed that aspect of it almost as much, if not more, than watching the actual movie. So
I almost watched it. I was going to watch it again yesterday before we recorded, but instead I decided to basically have a heat stroke. So-
Yeah.
you would rather have a heat stroke than watch Lost Highway.
no, I
again, is that
wanted
what
to.
you're
I
saying?
mean, maybe it would have
Yeah.
been a better viewing.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it would have gotten
A
to a
little
10.
disoriented.
Yeah, I'm fucking like
Watching a fever dream while in a fever dream.
Yeah.
hell yeah.
Yeah. I went ahead and watched Mulholland Drive just because I was on a roll.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. I need to bust out my. I've got Mulholland Drive behind me, and I need to fucking watch Firewalk with me. I haven't watched that in forever. So
Same.
all the Lynch films,
I
but
hear they're all tied together somehow.
there's like a Los Angeles. There's like a Lynchiverse kind of thing, and
Oh, okay.
there's like a stretch of films that are all set in Los Angeles. This is one of them that
Mhm.
kind of touch. Like I don't think they're as like on the nose as like the MCU or whatever, but like
Yeah, there was a scene in this one where there were red curtains in the background.
yes.
So I immediately went to the Black Lodge and I was just like,
Oh, yeah.
oh, he's evil.
Well, and that's the thing too. So Natasha,
It's good. I'm just gonna step out for a minute. You guys can chat.
red curtains
Yeah.
are a big thing in Twin Peaks, right? It's
Okay.
the set dressing of this place called the Black Lodge, right? Black Lodge.
Yep.
It's basically a place outside of time. It's kind of this dream world. It's in between. It's in between. That's about as
Okay.
good as I can explain it, right?
Okay.
And there's kind of a tip to the hat of that in this film, and this film kind of does that as well, where there's things that are on stage, like is the best in this universe. It's on stage, and then there is stuff that is outside of the universe, or it's happening off stage. So I guess that's the
Okay.
best way to look at it, where like if you think of this movie as a play or a stage production, but the camera is following what's going on the stage and behind stage and at catering and in the parking lot, that's kind of what's going on in this movie a little bit. So like
Okay.
there's like these things that seem like they're portals, right? Like so they get these videos and everything. They have the cops come over.
Yeah.
Cops are like looking in weird things, asking kind of strange questions.
They were
Like-
the worst cops ever. We should probably set it for their alarm. Just like standing in the bedroom, so dumb.
Are there
That's
other bedrooms? Yeah.
Exactly. This is where we sleep. Like all of that was just like painstakingly slow.
But like at the same time,
Ugh.
like I it's one of those things where in my head, I guess I give it a pass because maybe I'm giving it a pass because I like David Lynch, or I give it a pass because it's like in real life, like it's not always going to be like, now what did you do over here? What did you do over here, brother? It's like it's very just like, so what's
gonna be a
going
Hulk
on?
Hogan.
I don't see any fucking problem. What's going on? Okay, just use your alarm, I guess, right? So, but a big red flag in this movie, and I wonder if you picked it up, was like, do you guys have a video camcorder or anything like that? It's like,
I did,
no,
yeah.
I like remembering things the way that I see them.
Absolutely. I could tell that was like a key for sure.
Mhm.
I heard
That's
it.
the movie. The
Yeah, I
rest of
got
the
that
movie
nugget.
from
I was
that
like,
point forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, there's gonna be this we can't trust the narrator vibe going
Yeah,
on. So
like
I
the
got
person
that.
telling the story is kind of insane.
Yeah, it's
Right.
That's
it's
kind of what I got from it.
the tippy top of unreliable narrator.
Mhm.
Yeah.
like it teeters on the idea. I don't want to say idea. It teeters on unreliable narrator or just like non-coherent stuff. Like
Right.
because it's not that he's consciously unreliable, because you're along the ride with him. He doesn't fucking know what's going on about as much as you the whole time.
That's true.
So you're every what the fuck is going on moment, he is feeling as well.
But if
Just visualized.
if Pete is him disassociating, then he is driving that narrative. So
Not-
he does know what's going on.
Not if he okay, so like a disassociative fugue state, it's a defense mechanism that you yourself don't even know you're doing. It's a protective thing.
So we're talking like dissociative identity disorder. Like
Yes.
we're living his
He-
alternate universe.
So yes, so basically what happens, okay, so they get the cameras, all this stuff, and then he sees the last tape. There's 3 tapes. One is the front of the house, the second one is in their bedroom, and then the third one, which I'll talk to, and then we'll jump back a little bit. We're all over the place just like this movie. The third one is he sees that he killed his wife. Right? Prior to that, though, they go to a party at Andy's house at this real swanky place, and he's kind of a slime ball. Straight up just looks like a slime ball, acts
That
like a slime
mustache.
ball. That mustache is doing a lot of leg
Screams.
lifting.
Slime ball.
So this is the first time that you meet the mystery man. She asks him to go get her some drinks. He goes, he slams him because he's uncomfortable. He doesn't trust her, all this stuff. Also, let it be known and stuff. A lot of people think that this is a view through a misogynist's eyes. This movie is, because he doesn't trust women. He hates women. He wants them to be what he wants them to be. So the fact that he thinks she's doing this stuff does not mean that she has ever done any of this stuff that he is thinking she's done. She might not be cheating on him. She might not have been a porn actress. None of that. He is just paranoid, does not trust her, kills her, wishes that she was something that was what he wanted. Like basically just fulfilling himself, right?
I was about ready to ask you what evidence do you have that he hates women, and because I forgot that he just murdered her.
Chops her up.
Just mentioned
Oh,
it.
right, that part.
Doesn't just
Yeah,
stab her,
okay.
chops her up.
Forgot about that.
But he
Remember.
runs into the mystery man. So when we meet the mystery man, that whole, we've met before. We've met in your house, that whole thing, right? I'm at your house right now. What was your initial reaction to Robert Blake, a convicted killer of his wife later
yes.
on?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yes.
He became
So-
OJ.
Yes. So this movie is about a man killing his wife based on like
A
influence
man
from
killing his wife.
a man killing his wife, O.J. Simpson, co-starring a man who later on goes and kills his wife.
Do you think David Lynch had any?
We will not say such things about David Lynch. Do not speak ill of the dead. That's my job.
Not that he had a hand in it, but like, I don't know. He was in this movie. Blake was in this movie.
Yeah.
I wonder if it had anything to do with that.
But
And, when he showed up on the wife's face in bed, I did want to ask you guys, if you woke up and your significant other had that face, how long do you think you could stick it out?
How close am I to finishing?
I didn't say you were mid-coitus.
Oh,
Just
there's a reason.
relationship.
There's other reasons people get in bed. No.
So the face stays. It wasn't just like a flat. Oh,
Yep, it's not going away. And I don't have a wife or a husband, so I'm gonna pretend my dog has that face now.
The face stays
Aw.
on during sex.
I don't think I could.
Even
You think it's over?
Even if
Over.
I blink and look and Steph has that face, I'm out the door.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're out of the blankets.
Yeah, I'll
Put
be
my
like,
shoes on.
Couldn't. It's Kabuki. Kabuki blank. Oh no.
Okay, well,
Kabuki
it's
Blake.
it's good to know who these co-hosts are. They're very, very material people. Because
Yes.
I would
Very
stick it out
shallow.
with my dog
Yep.
because I love who he is.
A wife killer.
We don't know that for sure.
I mean, my dog kind of has that face. I mean, Nick has Frenchies and I have a Shih Tzu,
Yeah.
so
Aw.
I kind of have that face.
If the
Yeah.
collar does not fit, you must acquit.
Must be true. It rhymed.
Dr. Seuss rhymed. He never lied to us. So, yeah. So the first time you see the mystery man, like his presence is so fucking chilling by just standing there, shaved eyebrows. Just
He's
like,
the equivalent of Bob from Twin Peaks, right? Did
Yeah.
you get the same vibe?
yeah, this like,
Yeah.
because
Evil incarnate kind of thing.
Mm.
well, could he like? What is your like? That's what your take is that he is evil incarnate.
Kind of.
Okay.
He's not a good guy. I know that much.
Do you
I
think?
don't think he really exists, but I felt that was the most unsettling part of the movie for me.
Mhm.
I felt icky. I felt like this is a bad dream at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah,
When you
kinda
mentioned like have your thing for the back of the box, my thing was going to be that this entire movie is just one big bad dream.
Yes, 100%. This is like if they can record a nightmare and put it on screen, that's what this is.
Mhm.
Like even to the point where there's like random shots of just a fireplace sped up. It's
Mhm.
so unsettling. Like to somebody that's just like, whatever, this isn't Fast and the Furious. They're gonna be like, it's fucking fast fire. That's not scary. But like if you actually think about like how time works in your dreams sometimes, where like everything's moving fast except for
Mhm.
you, or you're moving, all that kind of shit. This movie just like wades in that a lot. I don't know. Okay, I know that the mystery man does not exist. He's not a person. I'm trying to think though if he is part of Fred, if like he's actually part of his psyche.
That
Like,
did occur to me that he was maybe older Fred,
okay.
Hmm.
since we went young, and then maybe that was older Fred.
I was
Oh.
wondering if it was breaking up like between Fred, the mystery man, and Mr. Ed, right? Or Mr.
The
Ed.
Oh,
horse?
Mr. Eddie.
If-
Oh,
The
sorry.
horse.
Yeah, the horse. If
The
that's,
mob guy, right?
yeah.
Okay,
If-
okay, sorry.
if that's actually like the id, the ego, and the super ego or something, like if it's because they're these three like huge like cornerstones of this film that are just 100% like it's just like these personas, like
Mhm.
big suits that they're wearing, like it just like when Mr. Eddie shows up, he's fucking this guy, you know, like it just kind of has that feel. I didn't write an essay on it, but like that's where my brain started going. I was like, I wonder if that's the thing, because like with, you know, Pete / Fred and then Mr. Eddie / Dick Laurent, like there's all these dichotomies.
But we never meet Dick Laurent, right?
That's who he kills in the desert, right?
Oh,
He's the producer of the porn
that's right.
in
Yeah.
his world, in the quote unquote real world.
Yes.
Is he the one that ate the coffee table with his forehead?
No, that's
No.
that's Andy.
Okay, I'm getting my characters
Yes,
confused.
it's a lot.
Yep.
Yep.
So we'll just keep moving forward. So he
I
kills.
gotta say, I like Dustin's idea of like the ghost of Christmas past and future. When you're talking about like young Fred and old Fred, that's
Mhm.
where my mind links up, and I like that idea. I don't think I'd be able to parse out the id, superego, and ego with those three guys as to who's doing what based on like Freudian's definition of those things.
Yeah, but I also, even if it was that, it wouldn't be that cut and dry because Lynch just like would take the idea of that and then do his own thing.
Got it.
So I guess using id, ego, and superego is not the proper thing, but just like this triforce of personalities,
Right.
you know, like this like fucking unholy trinity, because all three of them are evil in their own right.
Right.
You know, I think the only good person in this film technically is Renee, because we actually don't know anything about her that isn't from Fred's perspective.
I think Gary Busey was pretty nice.
Does Gary Busey fucking exist?
Good question.
That's true.
What, you've never disassociated and had Gary Busey just show up in your bedroom?
No, but I'm gonna try.
Gary Busey just be your dad.
It's very comforting, actually.
Oh, I loved him in this. I fucking thought he was great. But like, okay, so kills his wife, goes to prison. Henry Rollins is a guard.
Yep. Picked up on that.
And then just like it's fucking normal, Fred's not in here anymore. Somebody else is in here, and now we got Pete.
Yep.
What was your reaction to Pete?
The same reaction I'm currently having. Just like what is happening? For them to not even like try to figure out what happened to Fred. It seemed like everyone just came to terms with this.
No, it's best to leave that one unsolved, I think. Just not worry about it.
I mean, he's dead to us. Am I right?
I guess we don't have to do anything. He's not.
He
our
served his
problem
sentence.
anymore.
This guy's a teenager. Let's let him go.
Yeah. He's only got 2 months of probation for stealing cars. But so that's the point, though, realistically, that I could say, like, you flip the switch and you're like, okay, that's the flashing of the blue lights and stuff when he's in the cell and everything. That's when he effectively disassociates. He has finally mentally collapsed and split. And that's when Pete shows up. Our reaction with the guards, because now we're with the guards, you know, like, this isn't him, I think is still from Fred's point of view, watching. Does that make sense?
No.
No, it doesn't make sense. It's because, like, I think at this time we've been watching Fred. Fred finds out that he is a character in something.
So are you going back to the movie concept of he's a character in a movie?
I think that he is. I think that like he realizes something, because there's times when he stares into the camera and is like shocked. And then there's walking down the hallway and coming upon the mirror and he's like staring at himself in the mirror. That mirror doesn't exist anywhere else. In that, like, that hallway is supposed to go to his living room, and he comes upon this dark mirror and everything. It's one of those kind of things where I think he's figuring out like that he's not real or whatever, I think.
There's so much of this movie that I just pushed aside and was like, I don't have to think about that.
Oh, I was talking to Steph
Same.
about this and everything before I came down here. She's like, oh, Tasha's gonna hate this movie. Because
I'll have to text her and let her know.
Because I was like explaining it to her, and she was like, "So wait, hold on." So, and she didn't watch it. Like, she was
That's
just like
awesome.
hearing me ramble like a madman. She's like, "Wait, hold on." So, I mean, it could mean like, because she was talking about the mirror scene, having never watched it, and it was just like, well, you know, it could be about like, you know, there's two parts of him, and I was like, you know what, that's a good idea, but you didn't watch the movie. Like, it's like, she's like, that could be good Fred, and that could be bad Fred, and it's kind of, I was like, you just need to watch the movie then. If you like, just watch it and come back with notes, and we could talk about this. But yeah,
I did think, I will say at that point, with it, when he came back out, he seemed like despondent and kind of like closed off. I thought he like shape shifted, like he was no longer himself. So there was some, I never once in a million years would I think that he was a character in a movie, but like I thought something happened in that hallway and he was that was no longer Fred. It was just somebody looking like Fred. But then once again, the movie kept happening and I just forgot about it.
That hallway scene is my favorite scene in the movie. like when he turns down that hallway and it's just a dark corridor and he just keeps walking into it until he's completely engulfed in it. I was so excited when he just disappears into the darkness. I'm not even kidding. I was like, yes. Like I literally got like super pumped because I was like, that's so foreboding and just dark. Like it's just a guy walking in the dark, but
Yeah.
mixed with the sound at that time and how abrupt it kind of happens, he just turns the corner and it's like non-Euclidean at this point. Like this doesn't make sense. This
Is that what
shit-
you're gonna write songs about now? Now that
Yeah.
you're done with your dead horse era?
Oh, dude, I write so much non-Euclidean, like fucking
Yeah.
House of Leaves bullshit. But yeah, fucking, that's like, just thinking about it gives me goosebumps. I just love that shit. But yeah, so now we got Pete, and Pete's a mechanic, and he's fucking working at a garage run by Richard Pryor in his final role. This was his final role. And yeah, fucking Mr. Eddie pulls up. He's been looking for him, needs him to work on his Mercedes. And we're met, or not met by, but what's his fucking name? Mr. Eddie. He's played by god damn it. I just had it. I lost it.
His name was Feech in The Sopranos, if that helps.
Robert Loggia. Or however you pronounce his last name. But his voice is so familiar. Like I have heard him in a million different things. He was like in the Pink Panther films. He was also in Tim and Eric's $1 billion movie, if anybody was interested. But yeah, when he just showed up, I was just like, oh my God, right on. And he just encapsulates that fucking like made man.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Just shows
But he's
up.
kind of like if there was a Muppet Mafia,
Yeah.
because he's so cartoony in the way he acts and his voice.
Yeah. So he actually it's playing right behind us right now. He picks up Pete and is like, hey, why don't you go on a ride with me? Think my car's not sounding right, you know. So they go around and everything, and you know, Pete does his little wrenching and stuff. And then they go driving, and he starts getting tailgated by a white, it looks like a Pontiac of some sort. Dustin, would you like to explain to us what happens in this scene? Because I believe that you were really excited about this scene.
Yeah, I love this one. This totally reminded me of him in The Sopranos, just completely losing his shit and getting violent on someone. The way the guy screamed that was tailgating was amazing. I hope I sound that pussified if I'm ever getting beat up. But yeah, he's getting tailgated, so he takes great offense to this. The mobster kind of wrecks the car that was tailgating him, gets out and beats the Christ out of him, and then he starts throwing a bunch of driving stats at him. 50,000 people were killed on the highways last year. Do you know how long it takes to stop going 35 miles an hour, 100 and something feet?
All the while just kicking the shit out of him,
Yeah.
pistol whipping him.
The most eloquent beatdown I've ever seen. Yeah.
It's really funny because so David Lynch made Wild at Heart, right? And then Wild at Heart got like aped a lot. A lot of people like stole from that. And a lot of people think that like Quentin Tarantino stole a lot from Wild at Heart when writing the scripts for like Natural Born Killers and stuff like that. And it's really funny that this movie comes out after those films, and they like people think that like David Lynch basically wrote some of this stuff as like kind of a clap back in a way to being ripped off. So it was kind of funny because I watched that scene and it happens. I'm like, this feels like a Tarantino scene all of a sudden. It feels so much like, get out of here, and fucking just all this fucking dialogue smashed into like 2 seconds and just all this stuff.
Oh,
Then,
so
like-
so people tailgating would be like other directors kind of riding his coattails.
Yes.
Oh,
Like
I
that's
like
what
that.
some people think, because Robert Loggia was in some of those films that were supposedly like Patricia Arquette. Like there's a lot of weird casting that, like, if that is true, that he was like, fine, then I'll fucking, like, it's not that he made a whole film to say fuck you to directors and writers and stuff, but it is very interesting that those like line up in that way. And when this scene behind me is happening, I was like, this is so abrupt. This feels like it's out of fucking like Reservoir Dogs or some shit,
or Goodfellas, right?
Yeah, it's so stark. And then it just goes back to it's so fucking, and like Pete's reaction to the whole thing is all of our reaction to it while it's happening. It's like, what the fuck happened? Well, just like our first meeting with Mr. Eddie in the car it seems so abrupt until later in the film. Just sits in the car, pulls out a VHS tape, is like, pornos?
Right.
Get your dick hard? He's like, nah, I'm good. Like, all right. To each their own. Throws it back in. It's like, what? And it's never mentioned again. Technically, you find out that he's basically, we think, whether it's true or not, he's a porn producer that possibly was the boss or whatever of Renee / Alice. Whether that ever actually happened, we don't know.
Right.
So as Pete's hanging out with Mr. Eddie and stuff, he says he's going to have his other car dropped off. And that's when we meet Alice, who is just blonde Patricia Arquette now. So previously she was brunette and named Renee. Now she's blonde and it's Alice. And what is your brain doing at this point, Natasha?
I was very confused. Let's be honest. That's, just trying. I was like, okay, is it a twin? Is it her sister? Not feeling that it was the same person until much, 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 much later in the movie. At this point, after everything had switched over, I had almost just succumbed to not trying.
There you go. That's proper.
And they showed a picture of them kind of alluding to them actually being twins because they were both in the photo. Yeah, that got me real confused too.
But then you see the photo again at the end,
right?
And it's just one.
Right.
So I'm trying to think when we see it with the two, I think it's Pete seeing the photo. Therefore, it's Fred seeing the photo. When the detectives see it, it's just Alice.
Okay, yeah.
So Fred is Pete, and he's seeing it as it's not the same person. She is different. This isn't Fred's wife, Renee.
Right.
This is Pete's girlfriend, Alice. They just know each other. These are just coincidences.
Right.
He's just lying to himself consistently. And then once you get outside perspective, the detectives and stuff, it's like, no, that's her. Like, so, but at the same time, is it her though? Because they're investigating Renee's murder. So it can be believed then with that Alice / Renee, her name's Renee, was a porn actress previously, just because the detectives saw that photo, right? Because that is a second opinion.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm kind of confused because they also made a comment when he went into the hotel with her, and she's supposed to be dead, but then they know that he's in a hotel room getting laid with her. The whole thing is very confusing. Those detectives though are only in the Pete story, right? Yeah.
What I'm talking about are the Fred detectives see the picture.
But they're essentially the same.
No,
it's the same actors, right? Like they're the same detectives.
No, there's 4 detectives.
Oh,
because
Jesus.
at that very time, all 4 detectives are there.
Okay.
And they see the photo. So I'm not even trying to make every.
So Fred detectives meet Pete detectives. They all exist.
Yeah.
Now that's even extra confusing if they all exist in some plane,
Yes.
but Pete
Lake
technically
Placid, there was an alligator. Easy as that.
Betty
all you
White was
gotta
there.
know.
Uh-huh. I got killer laughs. I went home.
So I guess the best way that I can kind of make sense of it, and it doesn't make sense narratively. This does not make sense as a movie.
No.
But think of it this way, right? So you got the Pete movie. It's on this stage over here.
Okay.
The Fred movie's on this stage over here. But their stages touch because they're two. It's like if Dustin and I were writing the same movie but without talking to each other. We're given the bullet points of like, this is what we want to happen. So we write it. And then you're directing the two movies at the same time while they're touching.
Jesus.
And both those movies meet at the scene where Andy is dead. We both wrote that scene. So
Got
both
it.
of our sets of directors show up.
This is a Venn diagram of movies.
Correct. That's that scene.
And we figured it
I
out.
think that's the only way, like, and that just kind of came to me. That's the only way shit like that makes sense because
But
if you,
that only makes sense in the movie concept of this movie.
Yeah.
This movie is a movie within a movie. It doesn't make sense
it actually explains a lot though that it just doesn't make sense otherwise. For me,
right.
like so like the idea that the Lost Highway Hotel is technically the backstage or the building where the movie is being made, not the stage, but the rest of the thing, right? Because there are different times, like when they kill Andy, right? And he goes to go upstairs, and for some reason he's in the hallway of the hotel, and it doesn't fucking make sense. It's because the stage that the Andy scene is happening in, there is no upstairs. There's no reason for them to go upstairs. But Pete's character, Pete, the person playing Pete, is freaking the fuck out and exits the scene and ends up backstage, aka the Lost Highway Hotel.
Or if we're looking at it from the dissociation concept, his subconscious just hasn't filled in any of that stuff. So that's just a stand-in of all of this happened, and then there's this space.
Again,
who knows?
There's nothing right. It's those kind of threads though that make it interesting. Like it's just like, yeah, no, that you have to make as much sense of this film as they are trying to make sense of their own reality of what's going on.
This is Martyrs all over again, Nick.
No, this is so much harder to understand.
No, but just that idea of like, you have to wade through it just like the actors.
But that's why this movie gets such high praise from me, because obviously I'm just gushing over it and everything. But it's because you can watch this 2-hour movie and now I can spend a month reading essays and watching videos and all this stuff and learning like David Lynch's ideas on this to, you know, kind of try to figure out the thought process behind it. Like, you're never going to watch this movie and go, makes sense.
Got it.
Because everything that happens still doesn't make sense once the ending of this film happens.
Right.
And that's where it crosses over to art, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because art is subjective and everyone walks away with a different idea of what they've just experienced. And that's usually what his movies do.
100%. That's, again, I just go back to, you'd never seen David Lynch, Tasha, and I just kind of gave you you just have to experience it.
Yeah.
Like, by no means did I expect you to like this film or hate this film. So, like, not that we really give scores anymore on here, but you kind of gave it a middle of the road.
Right.
Boom. Fucking, yeah.
Dustin disapproves.
I think last time I did that, he called me a whore.
Yes, correct.
But, and that's fair. Like, not like, if art is meant to be loved by everybody, then it's not art, it's a product.
Right.
Like, if you're pissing people off and people are loving it at the same time, then you obviously have something to say. So that's what's really interesting, that like Roger Ebert and Siskel and Ebert, whatever their fucking names are, we're just like 2 thumbs down. It's like, yeah, but I'm pretty sure you probably gave like Top Gun like 2 thumbs up. So get the fuck out of here. But so this is something that kind of want to touch on the nudity in this movie, right? So Patricia Arquette is naked a lot in this movie, right? In a 2019 episode of Actors on Actors, which is a PBS series, she recalled doing the nude scenes in this film, and she admitted that she chose to play characters more sexually confident than herself, including performing nude and sex scenes. Arquette added, I'm completely opposite in my personal life. I was born really modest. I don't want anyone to see me naked. When it comes time to film, she made sure only necessary crew members were on set. And then she said, maybe this is inappropriate. Maybe I could get sued for this, but I told everyone I'm going to take off my robe. If I turn around and I see you and I know you don't need to be on this set, I'm going to punch you in the face. All of a sudden, about 40 people went scattering into the desert.
Nice.
I mean, boundaries.
Goddamn right.
She told him, just
Yeah.
don't be around.
Yeah. So, Pete gets with Alice. They're having a fling behind Mr. Eddie's back. They need to run away together to be loved, you know, and they're going to kill Andy to get some money and run off. Marilyn Manson's going to fuck her. And
He just popped up out of nowhere.
Yeah, he's up there doing his thing.
He fucks her so hard he passes out, I think, at one point.
I mean, we've all been there.
Oh, yeah.
We've all been dope sick having sex on a porno. I mean, right? But
No.
it was the 90s, guys. It was the 90s. That's my excuse for everything. Where were you yesterday, Nick? It was the 90s.
It was on the moon.
With Steve. Eddie Izzard throwback right there.
Yep.
Fucking where'd my brain go? Okay, so yeah, they kill Andy, they go to run off and everything, and then we're out in the desert. So in the desert now we're dealing with the shack, right? The
Yeah.
shack is
She knows a guy.
Yep, it's the fence. This is we're gonna sell the stuff to, right?
Right.
So what is the shack? Because we see it before then, right?
Mhm.
We see it blow up in reverse and everything,
Right.
but it has
Kind of like a nexus,
okay.
like a connecting point, because he becomes Bill Pullman again, right?
Hmm.
Mhm.
While he's there. That's kind of what I took it as. And it was just like visually gorgeous.
Oh
Watch
yeah.
it burn in reverse. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when it comes fully together, the lighting on it is so picturesque that it just feels like a fucking nightmare. And it's
Mhm.
simply just a shack in the desert with a fucking light over the door.
Yeah.
Nothing more. It's not like fucking like Satan, like, "Woo-ah, welcome to my dojo." It's nothing like that.
Nope. Simple and creepy as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very good at stuff like that.
Hmm.
So talking about like him turning into Bill Pullman again, turning into Fred. So that's the point where he thinks he's getting what he wants, but even his idealized version of Patricia Arquette's character like laughs in his face, basically, because they're like, he's like, I love you, blah blah blah, like, tell me you need me, all this stuff, and she's flat out just tells him like, you can never have me. Like even at the best,
Mhm.
he knows that he is wrong, like that he can't. And that's when the mask finally comes off, not physically in the real world because he's still in his brain, but in his head he's given up the facade, is kind of how I see it. And they kill Dick, Mr. Eddie,
Mhm.
because he thinks that he was a porn director. I think we're pretty right on with that and everything. And then he drives off into the night and gets electrocuted because that's him in the electric chair, because that's what he was on death row for. So he disassociates all the way to the fucking electric chair.
Yeah, I caught that.
Oh, you didn't catch that?
No. I thought he was freaking out and turning into someone else.
Well, he's like smoking and like his
That
skin's-
absolutely makes sense though. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I only got that based off of analysis after
Oh.
after watching it.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I
Well-
thought he was just going mad.
My
Uh-huh.
initial, like the first like second of it, because it happens for a bit. The
Mhm.
first second of it, I was like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, knowing how Lynch works and stuff, I was like, "Oh, I think he's in the chair." And then it ended, and I was like, "The movie ended because Fred's dead." Okay, that makes sense to me. Whether that is what happens there or not, that's what I gathered from it, because we
You're
know
probably
that he's
right.
on death row. He's going to the electric chair. I think they even specifically say the electric chair.
Hmm.
And then that's how it ends. That's what I think.
Yeah,
So,
and that all tracks. I'm really surprised I didn't get that. It's hard to learn how dumb you are like live like this.
You get used to it.
Okay. You're right there with me. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
so musically and stuff in this film, I know, Tasha, you were like, when's the good music gonna happen? Right? A lot of the Angelo Badalamenti, sorry, a contributor to a lot of Lynch work. He did the soundtrack for Twin Peaks. He's done a lot of like jazzy kind of loungy music for him and everything. When we get to the Bill Pullman scene of him playing the saxophone, that is an Angelo Badalamenti track. I believe it's him. Bill Pullman, though, however, never played saxophone in his life, took lessons and everything, and learned that and played that for the movie.
That's impressive.
That's, like it or
Wow.
not, to actually do that is infuriating. Like,
That does
as
not look like an easy instrument
No.
to just pick up.
No, especially doing the like those fucking like
Right.
real forced kind of thing. Like, that shit's crazy. But yeah, and then the rest of the music, you got I by the Smashing Pumpkins while they're at like the bowling alley or whatever, and that shit kicks in. You're just like, yes, please.
That made me happy.
You've got I Put a Spell on You,
Yep.
cover by Manson.
Those are my top 3.
I only said 2. The saxophone scene? That
No,
was the-
no. I thought you mentioned the perfect drug again.
Oh, okay. My mind does the perfect drug show up in the movie?
Yeah. Is that the scene where she's undressing slowly in front of Mr. Eddie? Is that what's playing then?
Oh,
No.
at gunpoint. Yeah, that was
No.
Yeah, at gunpoint.
I don't-
Or is that I Put a Spell on You?
I think that's I Put a Spell on You. And then there's another Marilyn Manson song that plays. Let me see here. I've got the Spotify up. Where is it? Apple of Sodom is the other one. That's when Pete is in the bedroom and he's getting his headache, and it like cuts up to like the light, and there's like the moths and stuff kicking around. It's all like shaky and nightmare fuel and stuff. I know that one's playing, and I think it's I Put a Spell on You. I don't remember the song playing at all in the movie, which
According to this, it's during the car chase scene with Mr. Eddie and the guy tailgating.
Oh, okay. They must have just been like the drum track or something. I'm gonna have to watch it again.
Or you're just so enthralled with what Mr. Eddie's doing. I do remember hearing it.
Okay. Yeah, I
But
must
yeah.
have just been like fucking locked in and just like not fucking giving a shit, because I remember the film ending and I was like, oh, it must be the outro theme, and then it's not the outro theme. I'm like, so the only single from this album is not in the movie.
It's the drum solo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense, because I was really waiting for that and it did not happen. But so, what was your biggest what the fuck moment in this movie? Granted, the movie itself is a what the fuck moment, so you can't say the point where the credits start to the point where the credits end. That doesn't count.
Mine was when Bill Pullman came back at the end, when Fred was a character again.
Okay.
Because we were so far detached from that storyline. In my head, we were so far. Oh.
But it makes sense. He's so detached as well.
Okay. When it happened, because there were so many happening throughout the movie, that one was like the straw that broke the camel's back.
Oh,
I
right
was
on.
just like, God damn it. Now there's this.
I thought I knew what was going on, because when fucking Fred's gone and we're with Pete for a long fucking time, you're like, oh, the Fred stuff I guess doesn't matter in a way.
It was
And
just like
then-
a big epilogue somehow.
Yep. And then it's not.
And it's the whole movie. Who would have thought?
How about you, Dustin?
Oh, probably when he just like ended up in jail and he had killed her, and he was like, seemed like everything was going all right. Why did he do that?
Yeah,
I got
that
very
was a big
confused at
one.
that point. Yeah.
Like that last video when you see the colored
Yeah.
part of that video. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mine mine was the fucking tailgating scene because it's so abrupt. Like
Yeah.
everything's so like brooding and everything all the way up to there. Like even like Pete like hanging out with his parents and it's like, well, what happened that night? Tell me. Like it's always just so there's a secret that's being held from all of us through the whole
Yeah.
film, you know? And there's no secret being held here. He's like, I fucking hate it when people tailgate. Just fucking kick the shit out of this guy. I was like, what the hell is going on? And then we never fucking touch that like intensity or anything ever again in this movie. I'm just like, what the fuck just happened? The only other time I can ever remember feeling like, wait, am I watching a different movie was watching Barbarian, and where it jump
Oh, yeah.
cuts to Justin Long's part. And I'm just
Yeah.
like,
Mhm.
hold on, did it just flip? Like I had to check my streaming and I was like,
Yeah.
hold on, rewind. No, what the fuck? This isn't right. Like this isn't right.
This doesn't match.
Oh,
We needed that high octane though, because everything else is so down here.
oh yeah, 1,500 horsepower. Oh my god. But all right, so what is your favorite part of this movie? And part can also be like character. But again, and this is to keep me from doing it. It can't be from the start of the credits to the end of the credits because I would say that, but
I'd probably go with the cabin burning, or the tailgating scene was probably the favorite parts.
oh, so just like the fact of the like it cutting to the cabin burning in reverse.
Yeah, I just love his visuals sometimes.
Hmm.
They just capture it so perfectly and put you in
Oh,
a
yeah.
mood without even knowing what the hell's going on.
Yeah, and like you can tell that this dude is a painter, like from
Mhm.
stuff like that.
Yeah,
Like, so
yeah. There's a scene in Twin Peaks: The Return, which if you haven't seen that, I won't bring it up, but
you're fine.
you'll know it when you see it.
There you go.
It's just so visually incredible, it blows you away.
Nice. Mine was Patricia Arquette. Her just in general, I know I shouldn't do from the beginning to the end, but her playing such a mundane person as Renee, I thought was as boring as it was at the beginning. Once I got it before she died, it was beautiful. And then her as Alice, she's just an amazing actress.
Oh yeah, fucking killer.
Being
Like,
able to do dual roles like that, she's amazing.
well,
And to
it's
pull off bangs like that, I mean, it's not that easy.
It's
We
not.
saw Nev Campbell fail in Scream 2 with it.
It wasn't
Platinum
Nev-
Oh,
Blonde.
no, sorry, that was Courtney Cox.
it was Courtney Cox, and it
Yep.
was Scream 3.
Fuck the whole thing up.
we knew what.
Let's
you
take it from the top again.
meant. Delete the podcast. Delete the
Start
whole
over.
RSS feed. We're done here. We're gonna start over.
But it's interesting when you mentioned her kind of modesty growing up and how she wanted to be sexualized in movies. I thought that scene where she's undressing at gunpoint was like just odd. It was unsettling, but her in that scene was amazing to do it with such like bravado.
well, and it's you without words. You see
Right.
her switch from terror to owning it.
Exactly. And
And-
when that switch happens, just like almost in her eyes,
Yeah.
like you got to sit with it. You just got to like be a part of that and go like, oh, she knows what she's doing.
Yeah. God, my favorite part of the movie.
Got to narrow it down,
I
Nick.
know it's really hard. I've got a couple. Like I really, really like the Mystery Man. Every time he shows up, it's so fun. Like it's hard. It's really hard to just explain to someone without them seeing it. It's so fucking scary anytime he
Mhm.
shows up. And it's not that he's doing anything. He's just existing. And it's
Smirking. He's smirking quite a bit.
Yeah, and like his eyes are wide and
Mm-hmm.
everything, and there's just something like the idea of a nightmare. Like that's you would see
Yeah.
someone like that in a nightmare, you know. And then the
Just
hallway. Go ahead.
just somebody smiling at you like that, and you don't know why they're smirking at you.
See now,
Is very
I think there's a whole
unsettling.
movie based on
now
that.
it's
isn't there?
scary
There
in
is,
this
and
movie.
I like it.
It's scary in this movie. But if it was all the Mystery Man, if they made a movie called Mystery Men, and it was this, oh wait, they did. They had Paul
Yep.
Rubens in it. But
Also
no.
creepy.
it's creepy smiling in small portions. Okay. Oops, all creepy smiling. No, thank you.
Too much of a good thing? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. But that in the hallway, like those are like I would have to say my two favorite parts. And the reason that they're my two favorite parts is because they perfectly encapsulate what I expected out of this film, which is a fucking nightmare. Like that, like it's that shit that you can't describe, you can just feel. And that's what I wanted out of this. It helps that it's also a noir film, and I love that shit. Like when Alice is like talking to him on the phone with just the strip of light across her eyes or across her mouth. I think he's on to us. I drink that shit up all day. I fucking love that shit, like that old like detective noir.
Yeah.
And then she came in and she was a tall glass of milk, like that kind of shit. I'm like, yes, give me the cigarette smoke, pulpy kind of stuff all day. Like I love it. So, do you think the movie is scary at all?
No,
You don't think it's scary at all?
no. It's uncomfortable, but I wouldn't say scary. I wasn't scared throughout it. I was unsettled.
Okay.
Would
Would
you
you like?
scared when the face showed up on the lady? Yeah, when the mystery man's face showed up on her.
Yeah.
That scared me a little bit.
So
With things like that happening so quickly, I can't like process it for it to be scary because it happens and then it's over and it's just confusion. And that confusion leads to like this off-kilter feeling.
can you explain to me, Tasha, the difference for you of uncomfortable and scared in a film? Like
Ooh,
sense
that is tough.
because I get what you're saying, but the fact that you're like they are different things,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like I being like if something makes me uncomfortable, I like would just umbrella that and be like, yeah, I guess
You're
that made me
inherently scared.
I guess that's me being scared.
Okay.
But like if you actually have a hard line that's different, I'm actually kind of interested to see what that is.
Yeah, I would have to say that's a very good question. If you're looking at that kind of like on a spectrum, I would say being uncomfortable and being unsettled is less intense
Okay.
than being scared. Where being scared is higher on like the emotion chart,
Okay,
I guess you will. But this movie as a whole, like the entire vibe of it is unsettling. Or there can be scenes in movies that are unsettling where you're just unsure, the music could be tense and it's creating this like this tension in your body, but it's not so much that I'm like curled up and like ready to jump.
Yeah, so how I'm reading what you're saying is there's a thermometer
Yeah.
and the boiling point is scared
Yeah.
because it's all based on anxiety.
Yes.
So if it's under the boiling point, that's what is I'm unsettled, I'm nervous.
Yeah. Not quite ready to jump. And that would be the boiling
There
point.
is nothing in this there's nothing going on in this film that would have gotten you to go like fuck with what it was doing.
No.
Okay. And that's what you draw the line on. If it built enough tension to make me do that, therefore it would be scary.
Right. So
Okay.
if we're going back to as silly as it is, going back to the smile reference, watching that because the smile was so like in your face, it was so consistent. For me, at least, that face and it happening among like different people or multiple times to the intensity that it did, that was enough for me to be scared by it.
Okay.
Because it got past the point of unsettled. It got past the point of unsettled to where I was ready for something else to happen.
I got you. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I don't I don't really get scared, like legitimately like scared in movies. 9 times out of 10, if something like you're saying, like if it's enough to make me jump, then it's scary. 9 times out of 10, if I jump in a film, it's just because it's fucking loud.
Yeah.
So I don't quantify that as being a scary thing for me.
Hmm.
So like mine is just like my brain looks at this and goes like, I have had fucking nightmares like this, therefore it is scary. So
Yeah.
that's why like that I'm always interested in like terminology, because we can use the same words but mean
Hmm.
wildly different things.
Right. Like I wish I could think of the last movie that like I yelled at or like got like scared. And I know Smile, Oculus, like those movies scared me. The first time I watched Paranormal Activity, it scared me. Parts of As Above, So Below, that was scary.
Yeah, I can
It
see that
it
because of
would
the
like teetered
anxiety.
right. It teetered from unsettling, but it took over that. It went over that boiling point of being unsettled in those close spaces to okay, now I got scared. I don't
Okay.
stay scared for a
No.
long time.
Yeah, no, I get that. How about you, Dustin? Do you think this film is scary by whatever
No.
that means to you?
No. Uh, yeah, I'm kind of the same thing about dreams. I've had a few moments in horror movies where I've had the dreams that are going on. Like a good example would be like a Hereditary.
Yeah.
Uh, some old naked people appearing out of the darkness in your room. I've had that happen.
Oh shit.
So, so that to me is scary. But yeah, still the same. I don't really sit in it very long.
Okay.
I don't think.
So this movie didn't check
No,
that box. That's
no,
fine. Yeah.
no. It was mostly just a fun ride to me.
Yeah. The reason I ask that is not for me. It's just because I found this, and it's from the most reputable source ever, Entertainment Weekly.
Yeah.
They ranked this film as the 23rd scariest movie of all time.
Wow.
So that's interesting, because I would never think to say that this is like on any list like that. And then Entertainment Weekly basically just being a paparazzi kind of magazine, like that just seems like a pulling out of the hat kind of thing.
Weird that
But
they put it on the list at all, to be honest.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
such a strange pull. Maybe it's clout. We got to put a David Lynch film on here.
There you
Yeah.
Nick's
And I'm-
gonna read this this issue of Entertainment Weekly.
go. And I'm curious, what else is on that list?
I don't know. I just saw that and I was just like, what the fuck?
I thought you had the list.
Barbie was probably on there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That looked terrifying.
Terrifying to some.
It's actually, oh my god, if this is the film of a misogynist, this would double feature with Barbie perfectly, because that's like a feminist like view. So there you go, man. Like I'm gonna double feature that in the backyard. Lost Highway, Barbie. Here we
There
go.
you go.
Sandlot,
get-
just for fun.
Sandlot as a palate cleanser.
Yeah,
Yeah.
put that in the middle.
So, let's get. No one can replace David Lynch, right? There's not a single person that will ever be able to remake one of his films. But let's say he was still alive, right? And he were to make this film now. Who would you like to see cast in these roles for not a remake, but just a alternate reality casting of this film? Dustin, I'll start with you.
Sorry, I gotta get my names here. I'm not great at names. Okay, so Fred, I would go with David Bowie.
Okay.
Alice, Florence Pugh.
Okay. You got
And
one for
then-
Tasha right there.
Oh yeah, I love her.
She's my
wonderful.
favorite.
Yeah, and then Mystery Man, I went with Jack Nicholson.
Ooh, I can see
Oh,
that.
that's a good one.
I can see
Yeah.
that.
He's
David
creepy as
Bowie
shit.
as Fred. David Bowie as Fred could work. Like, yeah, I can see that. Like,
He's a great actor. Yeah,
and he's got a history with fucking with Lynch. He was in Twin Peaks.
yeah he's in the Fire Walks with Me, right?
Yeah. And then also the album that Deranged comes from, the David Bowie song on here,
Mhm.
is influenced by Twin Peaks. It itself is a
Was it-
concept album
Was
about
it Hours or Outside?
outside.
Outside, okay.
Yep. It's about a detective in a small town trying to find a child killer. And
Nice.
it's it's crazy. Like it's so weird that he made an album that is like a Lynch album, and then that song.
They run on the same
It's-
wavelengths, if you ask me.
It's so fucking weird. And
Yeah,
like
everything's so dreamy that they do. I think
Yeah.
they touch tips a lot.
yeah,
In a
'cause-
good way.
and like-
Oh yeah.
you know what I'm
kills
talking
me.
about, Fry Man.
Oh yeah.
But like Trent Reznor like was the producer for the soundtrack, so that's why it's Smashing Pumpkins, Marilyn Manson, Rammstein, David Bowie, because he had worked with David Bowie on some remix stuff and everything. They actually toured together, Nine Inch Nails and David Bowie, one time in the 90s. But it's so weird that like, yeah, at the time that Trent Reznor is going to basically be like, hey, David, I want a song for this. He's like, oh, just take it off my album here, babe. I don't know how he fucking talks. And then it's fucking
I'm sure that's it.
like,
That was
it's-
pretty good.
it's so crazy. Like only in a Lynch David Bowie meeting does that fucking happen. So, but
So I picked for Fred Alexander Skarsgård.
for Fred,
yeah.
Alex, okay,
Yeah, Alex from Infinity Pool,
Mhm, yep.
also in something else.
Yeah, I
he was
could do
in
that.
fucking
True Blood.
True Blood. He was
Oh, that's
he was in The
right.
Northman.
Yeah, that's
Su-
the one I was trying to think
Super
of.
sexy in The Northman.
Oh, so hot.
For Alice, I was teetering on. I almost picked Florence Pugh. She's my like
You
go-to.
that's always in your pocket.
Exactly, which is
I-
why I didn't.
I
just
kept
love
myself
that you did,
from
Dustin.
doing it because I assumed you were going to pick it, Tasha, and then someone was picking Florence Pugh.
Yep.
She's amazing.
But
She
she's
would
so
do
hot right
so
now.
Well.
I really hope
She's
you
my
don't pick who I
favorite.
picked.
I probably not. I would be shocked. I picked Emily Blunt
Oh, okay,
to
no.
play
No,
Alice
I wouldn't have picked her.
/ Renee. And
Really?
Willem,
You would have
Huh?
you would have picked Emily Blunt
yeah.
from The Quiet Place
Yes.
as being sexy?
And from The Devil Wears Prada.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
I
just
think so.
okay, sure.
You don't think she's sexy?
No.
Oh, well, to each their own.
No, that's fine. They just kind of catches me off guard because Patricia Arquette is like gorgeous in this movie, so like
Yeah.
that's where my brain went. So
I honestly had a really hard time finding somebody to replace Patricia Arquette with.
Yeah.
And I landed on Emily Blunt.
That's
It,
fine.
it might work, it might not. You know,
different strokes, different folks, man.
it'd be a recast.
Oh, boy.
For the mystery man, I picked Willem Dafoe. I think he would be a good one. He's creepy.
He was
Oh,
one
that's
of
perfect.
my two.
Oh, nice.
So
Yeah.
I will drop him off of here. My Fred is Jude Law.
Oh.
I think
Oh.
he kind of plays that. He can play that
Mhm.
brooding kind of sax player guy really well.
Yeah, the
I-
sax, I don't necessarily think of him, but the brooding, like sexy musician.
I don't think anybody with a saxophone, to be realistic.
Right, is sexy.
Uh, Alice.
What
This
about
is-
Bill Clinton?
God, no.
That guy oozes sex, right?
But like not in a good way.
No, there's
Right, yeah.
a whole island of Bill Clinton
Right.
sex appeal.
He's oozing, but he shouldn't be.
My Alice is the one that I thought you were going to take, considering Dustin took yours.
Are you gonna take the other one?
Sydney Sweeney.
Oh, no.
Oh.
For the same reason, she's so hot right now, and she's like that. So
That's
like
a good one.
that's where my brain went. I was like, oh, because she can play both sides of that coin and everything, and like that makes sense to me. And then so I had a funny haha mystery man one, and then Willem Dafoe. But since you took Willem Dafoe as my mystery man, I have to play my haha one, and let's put Andy Dick in as the mystery man.
That completely changes the tone.
Yeah.
He
I was
doesn't have
actually
to say
thinking
much,
Norm
he's just-
McDonald for a little bit.
Yeah, he's just creepy. Like he literally is just creepy. So he just
Uh-huh.
shows up and is creepy. I'm in your house right now.
Well, where's Conan then?
So yeah. So I'm totally gonna watch this again. Dustin, you gonna watch it again?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Tasha?
I want to recast Alice.
Oh, who you recasting Alice as?
Margot Robbie.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I like
Yep.
that. I feel better about that now.
Yeah, smoke show.
Yeah.
Like that's the
Yeah.
thing. It's not because, you know, like a misogynistic male gay. I mean, kind of, because
It
the movie
definitely is, Nick.
the-
That's
the
all
movie-
you're talking about.
Well, no. This is what I'm saying. Not because I personally want it to be a sexy person. It's because that is 100% what the point of the character is to be, is that, like, because the movie is 100% meant to be male gaze. Like when we were saying like the misogynist, all this stuff, it's meant to be this blonde bombshell, like vixen kind of person. And if you brought Rosie O'Donnell in, it might not work as well.
Disagree.
I don't
Disagree.
I don't know why she was the first one that came to mind.
And here I am going off of personality and chops.
Nope.
Who's that person from SNL? Imagine like Rachel Dratch.
Oh god.
You know her? I
Yeah.
love that woman.
Is she the one that played Debbie Downer?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And one of the lovers.
Yes.
I just watched a clip of her on a podcast and she was talking about how she's just letting her face melt off of her body down to her shoulders because she doesn't want to get any work done.
Nice.
Goddamn right. That just age. Just
She's
let
the
it happen.
best.
Yeah.
So, I guess my last question, realistically, it's kind of makes no sense to ask Dustin this one, but I'll do it anyway. This goes to the class. So, you gonna watch any more David Lynch stuff, guys?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm already wanting to watch The Return again. And I just watched it in last winter.
There you go.
I've just been trying to let a little time pass so it's not
That's
too
a lot.
fresh. Yeah.
Yeah. I probably will at one point in time. If you put another one on for the podcast, I'll do it. I feel like I need a reason to
This-
watch the
This
David
is
Lynch movie.
this is probably off the top of my head. This is probably the only Lynch that we'll cover because this is his, in my opinion, his most horror movie.
Got it.
Would you agree, Dustin, from what you've seen?
Yeah. I definitely not the best intro to him.
Yeah.
I'd say there's more accessible ones, like probably Wild at Heart and Blue Velvet would maybe be the
Yeah,
easiest ones to walk into.
Blue
Okay.
Velvet, definitely. I mean, the obvious choice is, I mean, it's going to take you a lot longer to watch, but just watch Twin
Twin
Peaks.
That's the top. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's as good as it gets.
But this movie was co-written by the guy that wrote the book that Wild at Heart was based on.
Yep.
So I know that you like Wild at Heart.
Yep.
So
Very much so.
there's a little bit here.
Nice.
So, but yeah, I'm always like in for just different movies, and this is fucking different.
Yeah.
Like there's just like you mentioned in the chat. I'm not going to name drop the movie or anything, but you name dropped in our private chat and everything about possibly covering a Darren Aronofsky film,
Oh, yeah.
and that dude, that's his own thing. That is Aronofsky. Like you
Yeah.
watch that, and that's that guy. Like it's
Yeah.
kind of like that.
He's got a look.
Yeah.
And I appreciate Aronofsky's look.
Yeah. So, all right. Since we're talking about Darren Aronofsky, I think it's time for us to call it quits for the evening. So,
All right.
for
Wrap it
Pot
up.
of the Dead, I am Nicholas.
I'm Dustin.
And I am Natasha.
Come back and listen to us, or else.